All right, welcome Skope TV, Thursday night. We got Deryck Whibley from the infamous Sum 41 on the phone. What's happening, Deryck?
Not much. I'm actually just working on the new Sum 41 record right now.
Where are we speaking from tonight?
I'm in LA in my home studio, and yeah, just working on. We just got off tour and just working on some new songs.
Awesome. So let's get right into this. We got a couple questions for you tonight. You guys got a lot going on. For the people at home, we are really talking because Sum 41 just released the greatest hits, all the good shit, the best of Sum 41, which has been out since March 17th. So you definitely want to check that out. Deryck, how does it feel to be at the point where you're putting out a greatest hits album?
Well, to be honest, it was one of those things that I never really expected or really ever cared about doing at the same time. It was one of those things that kind of came up. It was an idea from the record company, and when they approached us about it, we were just like, okay, never really thought about that, but it's, I guess so. And so they wanted to do it, and we went ahead with it, and now it's out.
That's awesome. When you all started out in Ontario, Canada, did you know that you were going to get this far in your career? Or was it just you guys were just trying to make some music?
I think it's one of those things where, in the very beginning, we did believe that we would make it. I don't think we believed how far it would go, but I think we believed enough that it would be pretty easy for us to make it. Not because we thought we were good. I think we were kind of stupid, and we thought it was easier than it is. It just kind of actually worked. And then once we had the success and started realizing how hard it is, then we realized how lucky we were.
That's sweet. How do you keep your friendships and the creative juices flowing for all these years as a band and obviously as the leader of the band?
It's one of those things that, it's just when it's like, it's what we do and it's just who we are. So it's not really like, we don't really have to try or like work at keeping our friendships or work at being creative. It just happens naturally. So, we grew up together. We're all great friends. We have a good time together. And we love what we do, so it makes it really easy.
That makes sense. Now, thinking back, it's like a lot of the questions I got are very kind of not reflective, but just with the greatest hits album. I mean, we've been following you guys since 1999, so it's just really incredible to be talking with you today. Here we are, 2009. You guys have been doing it more than a decade. So, at what point did you realize that Sum 41 was here to stay? And that this was going to be your career. You would not have to go get a 9-to-5.
I think, like I was saying before, it may come out of stupidity, but I think always from the beginning we just felt like, well, we were never going to have to get a job. We never really took school seriously. We never took any kind of further education. We just got out of high school and just went on the road and then got signed, and we kind of felt it was going to happen. I've never felt like I was going to get a job, even when I was 15, I just knew. There's no way.
That's awesome. Now, you guys have been with Island Records since 1999. What would you say it's about Island that makes you want to stay with them for so long? When bands hop around from label to label, what's made you guys really stay with Island?
Contracts.
Okay.
So I don't know. I mean, it comes down to I don't know. It's just where we've always been. We've never really thought about trying to get off the label. It's just we have a contract with them for a certain amount of albums, and we still have a few albums on that deal. So, maybe in the future, when that contract's up, we revisit it and take a look at it. But as for now, it's just the label that we're signed to.
Do they give you the creative freedom to experiment musically and kind of go, do your own thing?
Yeah, always from the very beginning. We've never had any kind of issue musically with them trying to say anything about us, about our creative. They've always just let us do what we want to do. Basically, they've never really said you should be like this or you should look like this or we don't like this kind of style that you're doing. It's just they've always gone with whatever we give them.
Now, how did you choose what songs you were going to place on the All the Good Shit album? Was that your call or the label's call? Who made that decision?
For the songs on the album?
For the Greatest Hits album, All the Good Shit album.
Yeah. No, I put that secret put together and I chose the songs. I mean, basically, all the songs that are on there are just the songs that we've released as singles. So it's, it's like all the songs that went to radio and video, basically.
Mm. Now, you guys are on the road more than, most other bands out there. How do you keep some normalcy in your personal lives being on the road? I know you're married to Avril Lavigne. How do you do the rock star thing and then still be able to be a husband and a friend and just like a regular guy?
I think it's because I am such a regular guy and I am pretty normal, I guess, or as normal as I can be. I don't know. I don't really think about it too much. I'm just, I consider myself a genuine person, and I care a lot about the people that are in my life, and I make it work. That's
cool. Now, you're an incredible producer. You've produced, obviously, for Sum 41. You've produced for Avril Lavigne. What would you say is the difference between when you're producing an album as opposed to when you guys bring an outsider to produce an album? What's maybe like the advantages, disadvantages to that?
It all depends on the actual producer, because I've had great experiences with producers and I've had really bad experiences. So it really comes down to the connection that you have with that person. And the reason why I did the last record for us was because I just hadn't found a producer that I had that connection with that could do the album at the time that we wanted to do it. So we decided to just go in and I would just do it. As far as like new material and like another record, like I am taking meetings to talk to producers, because I do think there's, you can benefit from having another person's opinion. It's just got to be the right person.
Mm. When you're dealing with these producers, are they more pitching you guys, or are you more pitching them, or does it depend on who you're dealing with?
In our case, I guess it's been. I mean, I think in most cases, it's the same thing of like I just said. It's like the producer's looking for a connection with the band, and the band's looking for a connection with the producer. And so you're kind of feeling each other out. Both of you are feeling each other out in a way. Not necessarily try to pitch each other, but just trying to see if there's any kind of creative vibe.
That makes sense. Now, your new studio album is due in 2009. How's that coming along? Are you producing that album? And what can they expect from that album? And when can they expect that album? Or do we not know yet?
It's really hard to say because it's in the really early stages where I'm still writing. And we haven't gone ahead and started recording. So technically I'm not producing, but at the same time nobody's producing yet because we're not at that point yet. I'm still just writing. As far as like what type of the material is, again, it's hard to explain because it's early, but it's turning out to be a lot more, I'd say more aggressive. It's pretty intense sounding, and it's like pretty big. I know it's kind of vague, but it's aggressive. It's not like a metal record, but it's pretty like, it's pretty hard without being angry, because we're not angry guys. It's not necessarily funny, but it's just like, it's really aggressive, upbeat, fast, hard music, I think. So far, anyway.
I hear you. I got that. So we're going to take our first break, Skope TV. We got Deryck Whibley on the phone, Sum 41. Hold on, we're going to be right back.